Welcome, I'm Pauline Wallace. Happy Pentecost. It is day 50. We've just completed the 49-day season on God's calendar called Counting the OMER. 7 weeks of anticipation from the Feast of Firstfruits until Pentecost. So let's have a quick look at the historical aspects of Pentecost, and then I'll give you my take on it energetically. So historically in the Old Testament, this festival was called Shavuot, and it's when God gave the Ten Commandments. We think of that as when Moses went up the mountain and comes down with the stone tablets, but it was actually much more corporate an event than that. In fact, the entire nation of Israel was at the foot of the mountain when God showed up in thunder, lightning, cloud, and power, and he spoke over the people. He released at least those first few commandments over everyone gathered. So they imagine what that was like, that energy clearing, penetrating, making way for this new truth, this new revelation of who God is and who they are. It would have forever changed them as individuals and as a nation. Then God went up the mountain and came back down with those tablets with the rest of the story. And of course, what did the Ten Commandments do? They serve to teach that love relationship, to grow the love relationship, to serve the love relationship between us and God, ourselves and others, and within ourselves. So then in the New Testament, we have Jesus just before his Assumption, Elevation, Translation. We should talk about that. Asking his followers to stay together in Jerusalem until the Holy Spirit arrives in power. They must have known something was up. They knew their calendar. About 120 of them did. And then we see once again in powerful signs of wind and tongues of fire, Holy Spirit shows up to land in the hearts of men. It's almost like a deepening of that Ten Commandment experience. Again, why? So that we can grow in love relationship with God, ourselves, and others. It's the next step in our human story. Now, this Pentecost is also part of the agricultural calendar, which I love, the times and seasons, right? Us moving forward season after season. And well, first fruits was the barley harvest, the spring harvest, that first harvest, and then they counted 49 days offering a sheaf of barley in Omer in thanksgiving in anticipation of the greater harvest, the wheat harvest that comes in the summer. And so if we look at that becoming, that anticipation, that helps us move into the energetics. Israel celebrated Shavuot once they got into the promised land. And I align Shavuot, Pentecost up energetically with our solar plexus center, right? We used my Temple Journey card deck to move through these 7 weeks. I line many of the Bible sevens up with our energy center, our chakras, our spiritual ecosystems. And Shavuot lines up right here at solar plexus, our place of personal power, of becoming, of manifesting. The spirit of might is even aligned here. And so what have we been doing these 7 weeks? We've been sitting in this oasis space, right? We've looked how far we've come, like the barley, like the spring festival. Wow, look where we've gone. We've sit in rest, restoration, replenishing, but also preparing and anticipating that next, that wheat festival, that promised land. This is our place of the promised land within. We are constantly becoming more, raising our frequency, elevating higher and higher. And we have the promises of God and the miracles of God, just like Israel did with their deliverance out of Egypt, like we have with the cross and the resurrection, the power of God to give us hope moving forward. So that is pretty much my take on Pentecost. Thank you all for joining me over these 7 weeks. Please do have a look at my Temple Journeys card deck. I have put a link to a coupon in the description below to get 20% off on the deck until June 8th. So thank you all, and I hope I will see you soon.